Alrighty, welcome back, guys. So, today back here working on my daily, the Nissan Pulsar. Video has been a long time coming. For those of you who follow me on my Instagram, would see that I made some progress last Sunday, give or take. So, but like anything else, work, time, family, everything comes in the way. So, just gonna update you guys on the progress thus far. I made a couple clips throughout the week, hoping that I would make a video, but then they were just mismatched. A little clip here, a little clip there. So, I'm just gonna cover everything in one go this morning and update you guys on the progress and hopefully wrap it up throughout the course of the day. It's Sunday, home alone, so need to get some work done on the cars. Stay tuned. Okay, so right here we have the UA4C, the Speeduino, it's wired in. You can also see the map line going through there. Speed connectors, currently I'm just experimenting, just switching back and forth between, it's okay, start from the top. So it's wired up. I only have it controlling spark for now. I haven't connected the fuel injectors to have Speeduino control that, since I did not have my wideband with me. I just had that. I just had a bung installed on my wideband yesterday. So for the most part, I've just been switching back and forth between the Speeduino and the factory ECU just to play with timing a bit, tweaking the timing map as I drive to and from work. Seems to be pretty close, but still has a bit of pinging in the low RPMs, low vacuum section, so need to address that. Okay, so this is what I have here. I got this from my mom. Luckily, she's a chef, so you can see here it's just one of those temperature things that you stick into the, I think they call it a kitchen thermometer. Stick into whatever you're cooking, and then it'll give you temperature reading. So in Tuner Studio, you can manually set in your temperature settings. Under the tools tab, I believe. So it's temperature in relation to resistance or resistance to temperature, however you want to look at it. Speeduino needs that to get a true idea of the calibration of the temperature tendency using. So I found some online, they don't seem to work. So what I'm going to do now is actually stick this in there, measure the temperature right here. Okay, so this is gonna go into here. Then I'm going to use, this is my temperature sensor all the way at the back here. So I'm just going to set my multimeter to resistance and basically stick it on the 2, like so, and then you should get a resistance. Write that down. You need 3 points. So right now it's dead cold. It's about 68 degrees Fahrenheit or about 20 degrees Celsius. Gonna let it warm up to maybe about 50 degrees Celsius. And then lastly, make it go as hot as it can get, so usually about 98 or 100, give or take. And then we're going to write that down, and then after that, hopefully the temperature settings are good, and then we'll move on to the wideband and all the other fun stuff. Okay, so for the most part I have it pretty much dialed, well, the sensor calibrated. This works perfectly. We have about 108, 178 roughly degrees Fahrenheit, which should be about 81, 82 degrees Celsius. Yeah, 81 degrees Celsius. Right, so for the most part it seems to be pretty well calibrated now. What I thought was correct, what I dialed in a while back, was about 10 degrees off. Well, 10 degrees, showing 10 degrees too hot. So gonna monitor it a bit. I disconnected the fan, gonna allow the car to go up closer to 100 degrees Celsius or 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and then just gonna verify that everything is a-okay. And then from there, install injectors and connect the wideband and take it for a drive. Okay, so I'm about to start. So I think we have injector 1 and 2 right here, blue and red paired together, going to injector 1 output, and injector 2 and 3 go into injector 2 output on the Speeduino. We're running batch fire. Still have the, I know it starts on Speeduino just doing ignition alone, so that's not a problem. For now I'm going to leave the ignition on the factory ECU, and we're just gonna start it on the Speeduino doing the fuel, and Speeduino doing fuel, and the factory ECU doing the spark. I already allowed it to warm up a bit a while ago on the factory ECU, just to make it a bit easier on myself. So we're just gonna start. Should start right up, unless it's terribly rich or not. I have my wideband sensor right here, sealing the engine bay. I need to run it through the firewall. Yeah, so just need to try and start and see if everything works out. Should start. It's a pretty simple motor. The base map doesn't need to be terribly accurate on this one, but let's give it a go. Okay, and we have a start. Okay, 73 degrees, thereabout. Let's see what the wideband is saying. Not sure if you can see this, but we idling somewhere around a 13.5 to a 13.7, so pretty good to begin with. Wow, so it's gonna switch off, and yes, and we're gonna try with Speeduino doing both fuel and spark. It should start right up. Like I said, so they already did spark alone, so everything is already synced. Yeah, but let's try it out. Okay, we're back. So connected the Speeduino to the spark. So we have Speeduino doing spark and fuel. Let's try this out again. See what we get. Yep, that is my starter. Probably gonna do it again. Okay, it didn't. Yeah. So we have Speeduino now controlling both fuel and spark on the Pulsar. So a while ago, if you pull in a bit more vacuum with the Speeduino ECU, it was around 32 kPa. Now we're on 27 now. So it's all good. Still with a rough tune. Let's see. Yeah, so with the Speeduino, we actually a little bit richer doing spark, so the spark might need a little bit more work on the Speeduino side, since we about 12.9 thereabout. So both spark and fuel might need a little bit of work, but for the most part it runs. Right? So next up, gonna try to clean up everything, run the wideband through the firewall, and what else? I think that's about it. Take it out for a drive and tune. I think I'm running out of time today. I'm running late for a meeting, so I may pick that up tomorrow, and by the time you see this, it'll probably be Monday, and the car should already be running. Alrighty guys, so again, wiring mess is still here. Everything is wired up. The car is running on the Speeduino for fuel and spark. I have Tuner Studio open, auto tune, since I'll be driving. Just gonna take it out for a quick drive, monitor everything, trim some initial fuel and data log, and then after that just keep driving and see what I get from that. Alright, so we're about to head out, pick up with some more progress in a bit. Okay, so it's the following day, and I have the car idling here, cleaned up the wiring a little bit, but we have it idling, pulling pretty good vacuum. It was a tad bit high, but that's okay for now, tad bit rich as well, but the automatic transmission is definitely fighting me, but for the most part I have it idling pretty good. You can see right now it's in neutral. What I found happening was every time I put it in drive or reverse, it will just die. So I played around with fuel and spark a bit, and then for the most part now put it in drive. It's good. Reverse and it's pretty good. So far we have idle set. Wide open throttle is pretty good. I have it targeted somewhere on a 14.3 thereabout. And what else? Cruising, it's cruising around somewhere about 49 to a 59 ranges out there. Had it a bit leaner, somewhere about 17.0, 17.5, but we can surge in, so I threw some fuel back in it. So it's, for the most part, it's pretty good. I don't have my tripod with me now, or one of my cell phone stands, so I'll get another video as soon as I get home, and then we'll wrap this one up. Alrighty guys, so gonna wrap this up. So the final installation ended up looking something like this. Still need to put some loom on here. I'll do that sometime during this week. But quick overview. So all in all, the car went pretty well. Trying to get everything sorted. Parallel installations are usually very simple. TPS, everything. TPS, there's no IAT, so coolant temp, everything is available online. You pretty much can just use the pinout from an SR20, since most of these Nissans use the same pinout. Difficulties. For one, the car started up pretty good based on what you saw in these clips. I hope I put the clip in there. But the only difficulty after that was the temperature sensor. I still haven't had it 100% dialed, but it works pretty good, pretty accurate. I verified some of the numbers against an actual thermometer and temperature, and after that I followed the Mega Squat settings for trigger, which did not work. Generally they're alright to start with for a few setups, but I think Mega Squat asks for 112 degrees, I believe, somewhere around there. But I believe they use before top dead center, but Speeduino uses at top dead center. But in any case, usually they're pretty close with their guesstimates. In this case, it wasn't exactly what I needed, and I think their documentation also says to use the falling edge. When I used the falling edge, what I found was that even if very low, as you can, this is my spark table. As you most can see, it's pretty conservative, only targeting about 24 degrees in the upper RPMs. At a wide open throttle, cruising, which is about here, we have about 34, 35 degrees. And for the most part, idle is around 19 degrees. So what I found was just getting up here, just off cruise into wide open throttle, the car would ping like crazy no matter what I put in there. And that was because, well, I suspect it was because of the trigger edge being wrong. So what would happen is that the timing would drift in the top, and it, unfortunately it would drift to the advanced side. So it would find, what you find is that maybe I have 22 degrees there, but by the time it drifted, it'll probably be 30, 35, and it will just ping like crazy. No matter how much retard what I put in there, it will not do that. Switch to rising edge, and that fixed that. So that's an indication for you guys. The other difficulty I had was when I initially started, just getting the car, usually, well, on a manual transmission, I'd probably target somewhere about 11, 12 degrees around the idle area. This car was not happy with that. It would idle, but as soon as you put the car in drive, the car would just die. So I played around with it. It took me about 3 days just trying to figure that one out. Tweaking there. Got frustrated. You know, you curse, you do everything. But in the end, I just advanced it a fair bit. Normally, I would not run so much advanced around idle, but that seems to be what the car likes. And it likes a richer fuel ratio around there. Idle is about here. Well, idle when in park or in neutral is about 1200. And then when you put it in drive, it drops down to about 800, thereabout. Prior to that, I also had to raise the throttle, open up the throttle a bit, just to get it to idle. So, and then I also placed the wall here, just as a quick idle recovery in case the idle drops a bit. So that was some of the difficulties I faced. Other than that, everything was pretty straightforward. The car drives so much better with the Speeduino doing fuel and spark. a lot more responsive, a lot talkier. It revs up a bit. I forgot to include it. I'm not sure if I did, but the stock ECU pretty much targets about 11 or thereabout, or on idle and cruising around, and then wide open throttle to target 11.5 based on what I saw on the wideband. Now, like I said, it likes a bit on the rich side for idle. I have it somewhere about a 13.0 idle and cruising around anywhere from about a 15.5 to a 16.0, 16.5, give or take. That's what I cruise about. And wide open throttle, I think I have it targeting somewhere about 13.2, 13.3, give or take, and the car drives 10 times better. Fuel savings, I can already see it. It's only been a few days and I can already see it. But anyways, I'm rambling, so guys, gonna cut this off for now. The car runs, drives. I also have to hook up my 2-steps, which is not necessary, but yeah, if you can do it, why not? Gonna hook it up to my handbrake, but I'm gonna do that in a separate video, separate day. I may throw it in later on, but for now, thanks for watching, guys. The car is running, driving on a Speeduino. Right? Pick up with some more progress later this week or whenever we get some time. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good one. Stay blessed.